Welcome to our Thrive Online series. In this episode, we are going to be talking about strategies for how to design your membership or rebuild it so that it's never boring and it's always fun.
Because it should be fun.
It absolutely should be fun. Otherwise, there's other ways to make money on the internet.
Yeah. I actually think, I think that the memberships are one of the most beautiful business models. One, because of the recurring revenue. I love knowing that I've got money coming in every month.
Mhm.
But also, I don't think that there is a business model that is so freeing and creative, and you can make changes so quickly and then test and come back. Nothing else is like that in business. And I think we see a lot of you know as the co-founders of Marvelous, we see a ton of people running memberships, and so many people say, I'm so bored with it. I'm so bored.
Mhm.
And I think that's
Mhm.
because they just keep uploading a video, new video, or go live, or whatever. Like it's just like class, class, class,
Yeah.
class. That's
Yeah,
boring.
it's because you've decided that the structure is the product
Yeah.
and you're sticking to the structure and you're fulfilling on what you promised structurally to offer people. And I just want to say, I love this idea of co-creating a business with your audience and your clientele. And I really think memberships enable that in a way that,
Like
is
nothing
most
else.
of yeah, like nothing else. It's easier to just be responsive to your people and sort of pivot and iterate. And ultimately, it is something that you're co-creating with the people that are paying you for that. I mean, and that is so lucky. Like, what a lucky business model to be able to be
Yeah.
building something with people you wanna serve and that that you have, something that you know how to do that can lead to transformation in people's lives. So,
Hmm.
if you're bored, then I think it's time to pause and really rethink what you're doing with your membership and be willing to make some, like, pretty significant changes.
Yeah. Because if you're bored, your members are bored. So that's what
They're
we don't
they're
want.
more bored than you.
Sometimes they're just like paying because they know you and they don't want to disappoint you, but they're like, change it up.
Or just people
Okay.
don't know how to, like, cancel a credit card
Right. They just
transaction. It's,
kind of
like, too much
kind of
work.
hang on.
Yeah, you don't want that, right? Like, we want people who are
No.
thriving in our
No. Yes.
businesses.
Yes. I just this reminded me what early days when we were called NamaStream, like first year that I joined you in the company. I remember talking to somebody who was a fairly well-known yoga teacher at the time, like really big Instagram influencer. I don't even think that word
Mhm,
was invented back then. And I remember she wanted to price her membership $5.
mhm.
And I was like, what? You can't make any money doing that. And then she was like, no, but I want people to join and forget that they joined, or like it's so low that they don't even come out of, like they don't even know that they don't even notice the $5 because it's so little. I'm like, it's a terrible reason to run a
Yeah,
membership. So nobody do that. But what we're going to talk about today is how to design and create the membership so that it is useful and helpful, and people love getting into it, love watching the videos, love dropping in, and that you love it too, right?
yeah, absolutely, and it doesn't have to be hard to make it something that you love. So, by the end
No,
of the
no.
video here, you're gonna have some great strategies to be able to go
Yeah.
implement.
So we've mentioned in the a couple of the other membership series videos about um, stop following what everybody else is doing, right? That we
Mhm.
can, there's so many things you can do with a membership. And I want everyone to think about how it works for you. So the number one, so if you can kind of picture like a Venn diagram, the number one thing that I want you to consider when you design a membership is, what is the best way for you to get the information across to your members? So how does what's the best way to teach your content? Is that audio? Is
Mhm.
that video? Is that live? Is that group? Like what's the best way? And then the second
Ye
circle of that Venn. Oh, go ahead, Jenny. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just also in a post-pandemic world that we're currently living in, I
Mhm.
would really think seriously if you need to have video for everything. Like, I would
Mhm.
say that's the
Mhm.
default, at least within our universe on our platform. The default for almost everyone is video. And this is one of the things I wish people would question more.
Yeah.
Like, even if you are a movement-based teacher, like once you've got given tutorials on the physical movements and positions, you certainly could have some audio content, right? And
Mhm.
people would
Mhm.
appreciate not having to have a video for everything. And I would also say then if you're like a coach, someone like that, you absolutely don't need it to be on video, like unless there's a special reason. So I just think critically about that medium
Mhm.
because first of all, it's, those are big files, it's more work. You're going to want to like brush your hair, all the things like make it a little harder. And then it's exhausting. I will say this as a student or client in a lot of memberships and online programs. Like, I don't want to stare at my screen for a minute longer than I have to. So, like, anyway, just a
Mhm.
word to the wise. Like, there's a lot of really interesting creative things you can be doing
Right.
with audio and with handouts and I mean other creative mediums that we're not even talking about.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about those in a second.
Oh, all right.
They're coming. They're coming. All right. So, how's the best way to teach? What is the best way to get your
Yeah.
teaching across? 2 is your lifestyle. Are you comfortable doing lives? Do you love doing lives? Does it feel restrictive? Because you don't always have to do lives. Do you want to just do, do you always just want to pre-record and upload? Because that also works. A lot of people are burning out doing lives. So we see a lot of clients who are like, I did it in the
Mhm.
pandemic and I just cannot do it 3 times a week anymore.
Mhm.
So you have, what works with your life? Do you want to travel? Do you want to do vacations? Like you have to think about your lifestyle and design the membership to match the
Mhm.
lifestyle, your lifestyle. And then the third circle in our Venn diagram is your clients, right? What do you need to do to get your clients the results that they desire? Think of them, think of their transformation, think of their journey inside this membership, and create and design this container to support you and them.
Mhm. And you might not know the answer to this third one without talking to them. I just also wanted to point that out. So in some cases we are kind of representative of our client or our student and in other cases we're not. It never hurts you to actually ask for feedback around this. Like how can I best serve you? What do you need to see in this? So again, like this is that co-creation process. You don't have to figure this out on your own.
That's right. Okay. Just going to go through a list of things to consider to add to your membership that you may not have considered before.
Yeah.
The first one is our themes. Like, can you talk about how to survive the holidays? Can you talk about surviving? I don't know why I'm on a survival kick here, but like summer, summer at home with your kids. Like, how do you work, get your workouts in or whatever it may be? But can you start to vary the content to match seasons or months?
Mhm.
Frequency of content. How often, and this is what Jenny was just talking about with how often do they want to see new content, right? Does
Mhm.
it have to be daily? Do you have to live stream 3 times a week? If that's exhausting you, then you have full permission to go and change that. Live streams are one thing. Again, we
Well,
mentioned that. Do you? Mhm.
oh, no, go on, Sandy.
So live streams, it's not for everybody, right? It's stressful for some, and some other people love it. So don't continue to live stream if you absolutely hate it or are just don't want to do it anymore, right? It's not for everybody. Community. I think, in my opinion, you might disagree with me, but in a membership that is ongoing, that people are doing these cool things together, I kind of think that having a community component is necessary, but like 90% I will say that point, and there's some exceptions where we may not want to do community. I know you're going to
Yeah,
have
I mean,
thoughts on
I
this.
I think for some of our clients, there are some privacy issues. So
Mhm,
that's an obvious flag for you. You
mhm,
know who you are in the wellness industry. That just might be the case. Or if you're dealing with sensitive issues, like you just
mhm.
might not want to. But in the absence of that, I
Yeah.
think that community is imperative, as you said, for almost every online program, especially memberships. And I think that it also takes a little bit of pressure off of you as the creator because you start to,
Mhm.
people start to interact with each other and get their questions answered by each other. And
Yeah.
that's like it doesn't need to come from you, and it's like a richer experience from them,
Yes.
and it at the same time takes the pressure off of you to always
Yes.
be there with all
The
the
one.
answers.
Yes. Because that's what happens. Like, I know the way that we teach this, we get people to create the journey for their members. Like, we define what that client goes through, what the member goes through. And then
Yeah.
a lot of questions are around like, okay, once they're done, once they get there, Are they going to leave? Maybe, yes, but like, good job, you got them to their goal. But also, if there's a community, that more senior or advanced member may stick around because they really enjoy answering questions in the community. We're providing support. You always have those people that are like the superstars in the community, and they get a lot of enjoyment out of that, to passing down their knowledge, their expertise, their advice to maybe some of the newer members. So I think that's a big reason why in memberships, I think community is a really important element to add.
Yes. And just a little plug for Marvelous, the platform that we built and that we're the co-founders of. We integrate community into our software, right? So that when people sign up for your membership, and you've created a community that goes with that membership, they automatically have the permission rights. The community's in the platform right there. And if they churn and leave the membership, they get booted out of the community. So it's not like an extra piece of work really to even have a community attached to your membership. It's so little. I mean, your only work is your participation, which I get is still labor, but hopefully that's something that you want to be doing. There's no technical work for you to have a community. So I would encourage you, unless you have a really compelling reason not to have one, to just default to have a community.
I just want to state the obvious here that like, no more Facebook groups.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
That was some of the problem that we heard is like, they have to go over here for the membership, and then they've got to go over onto Facebook, so where we can talk about what they're doing. And now it's all in one beautiful, quiet, Zuckerberg free place. So that is fantastic about Marvelous. Okay. The other cool thing I've seen people do in memberships is allow access to private coaching with yourself, only for the members, right? So if you want to coach with a certain person, and again, I think this is a bigger audience size, but think about this. If I want to coach with somebody, the only way I have access to them is to go into their membership, and then I can book private coaching. And I think what that does is that it puts everyone on the same plane. Like, all the members have gone through the core content or a basic course or whatever, so that the principles are there. And so that now I can go coach with that person at a higher level with better results, because I've learned their foundational thinking or wisdom. System. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And just having, we have both coached together and individually as well over the years. And when strangers have booked as coaching clients with me, it's so hard for me actually, because they don't have the foundation of how I think about the internet. Maybe they listened to a couple podcasts at some point, or somebody, that knows us referred them. And I just like, for me to actually help you, you have to really understand this, like the systems in which I operate and how I see the world. And our clients, in our Luminaries program, when they book a call, I just I can help them so much more. I can be so much more useful to them as a coach and a mentor, because we're operating from the same book, and I can get into much more advanced strategies. And so it's just, honestly, someone's just wasting their money as far as I can see it.
Talking the same language.
Yeah. Because I have to explain these like basic things. I'm like, you could go read this blog post, and come talk to me.
We talk a lot about yoga and wellness, but we also work with a lot of life coaches. And I've seen people who are so booked one-on-one, like their whole week is booked out with one-on-one coaching. And to sort of throttle that, like to pull that back, they create a membership. So that because one-on-one coaching, you end up talking about the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And there's just this desire, like, I wish everybody had what you were just saying, like the basic foundational knowledge and words, so we can go faster. So this works to like basically have a second stream of income, from the membership. But then once they're in, if they still need more help, then you can do private coaching, which will massively reduce the hours that you're coaching. Right.
Yep. That's called economies of scale.
That's right.
There you go. What the internet is very good at.
That's right. And yes, I think like popping in with a special guest every once in a while is a great idea. Or, even bringing on, I've seen this done with a current member who's really succeeded or did something unique. You could bring them on and talk to them and interview them. We've seen a couple people do different tiers of membership, right? So this could be like I don't know, like just pre-recorded videos or whatever.
Mhm.
And then the second tier is like live. Like this is where you can ask me questions. This is where I go live every Friday morning at 10, but that's a different tier. So there's two options of memberships.
Mhm.
Um, Another great thing to do to think about and to keep this interesting inside your membership is run a challenge. Like,
Mhm.
you know, for again, we're in January recording this. So the obvious one is something health related. So in December, you could put on a launch for your membership and say, we're going to do a, I don't know, walk to work for 30 days straight challenge, and you can only access the challenge inside the membership. Or, you know, whatever the current sort of struggle is with your clients, again, keeping, you know, talking to them. This is part of the co-creation is like they're really struggling with this. Let me put on a challenge to help them with this or get into a new habit. And it's only available for members. And so that will drive members into your membership.
You know, Sandy, I've seen the same thing with like book clubs too on the
Mhm.
platform. I feel like there's an
Oh, yeah.
uptick in book clubs.
Mhm.
So the same thing within a membership and or a program that, you know, in addition to all the things that we do together, you also get to be in my book club. And then I'm going to give you the
That's
name of the book. Yeah,
so cool. Like,
I
that's
know.
interesting and fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So and it's
Like
like really easy for you, right? Your job is to curate the book that's appropriate for that month for your membership or
mhm,
for that quarter or
mhm.
season or whatever it is, and to share the name of
Yeah,
the book and then to maybe host one event at the end of that time period for everyone to talk about it, right? So very low amount of work for
yeah,
you, but
yeah,
potentially like very huge benefit
fun.
for your community and yeah, fun and a sense of place and belonging and lots of
Mhm.
us would like a chance to, you know, be with people who share similar values and ideas and have a book club. So, yeah, think about
The only
ways that
book
you can
club
integrate stuff.
the only book club I ever was part of, I got kicked out of, so I've always, like it's like, God, I just wish someone would invite me to their book club. Okay, the other part of this that we wanted to talk about really quickly is like we've given you a bunch of ideas of what to include in your membership. Let's talk a little bit about, we call these templates. There are some sort of standard templates for memberships that people don't necessarily think about. And we're just going to share a few. We have a lot more that we teach our clients, and we'll let you know how to have access to those at the end of the video. But the first template, probably the most common template, and in my mind, maybe the most boring template is to go live. Just go live. All you need, no pre-recording, no special anything. You just go live X times a week. That is the membership, right? So go.
Yeah, I was gonna say the way where I think this works best is if
Mhm.
you are offering some sort of like seminar series and you're curating guest experts. Like if
Mm.
it's just you, you know, you gotta have, like, a good reason for why this is the model, I think, or the template you're following, but the one place I've seen this recently really taking off is, like, you know, it's a membership and you get access to basically my network of
Mhm.
experts in this field, and we just,
Mhm.
like, meet live every, you know,
Yeah.
other week. So that
Yeah,
can
that's
be a
interesting.
great way, but I think if for most folks in our industry, they're the former. They're in the former
Mhm.
camp where it's them and they're the teacher or they're the
Mhm.
coach. And in that case, you gotta have a compelling reason for why it makes sense for
Well,
you to do that.
I think like if you are a newer teacher with a smaller audience and without a ton of content to post, going live every week does give you lots of content, right? And it gives you experience teaching and
Yeah,
and so on. So
yeah.
there's probably some people earlier on who this makes sense for, but our experience, our vast experience, people get bored with that really quickly. That's what I, or they just like they can't scale that, right? Because you're basically doing the same as teaching live in a studio or
Yeah,
wherever
yeah,
where you're trading time for dollars. In the beginning, that might be
yeah.
fun, that might be okay, but there is a level of like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore, right? And that's where what you were saying is like leveraging the internet and making money without having to be there live every time.
Yeah, and here's the most common way this plays out that I have this is like a broken record at this point. Lots and lots of people started this kind of membership during
Right.
the pandemic,
Right.
and then they were having like a good number of people show up for their live sessions for a long time for their classes or coaching sessions or whatever it was, group coaching. And then all of
Right.
a sudden people stopped showing up. So maybe their
Uh-uh.
membership, they've still got a bunch of people in there, but people are not coming to that live class. But since that's basically their membership, they still have to show up and do it, even if like one person is coming
Right.
or no people show up. And then it's just like that's a really depressing
Mhm.
thing in a
Mhm.
business. So I just think then you feel like, well, do I still need to do it? Because they're all paying for this, but they're not coming. Like, should I just shut it down? Like,
I
we've
promised.
heard this so many
Mhm.
times. And so I would just pivot, just pick a different
Mhm.
model. Don't
Yep.
like I would personally not do that business model if no one was showing up to my live
Right.
classes.
Right. But
You
there's like, yeah, I mean, this is a whole mindset thing about like, I
Yeah,
promise, and this is what and there's
yeah,
this fear of
yeah,
changing and that you're going to disappoint people or so, like the few that you have left are going to leave. Anyway, we'll
yeah,
leave that to a different video. But yeah, so
yeah.
go live. I think it's great for beginners or for what you said, if you're going to bring in some guest experts and panels and so on, I think that's really cool. The second template that we teach is steady as she grows. Again, probably the second most common thing that people do. And that's just uploading videos. I don't mean to say just, but like you're uploading pre-recorded videos, video on demand, as it's now called, and you're just steadily growing this library of content, which takes the live component out of this, but it does put you under pressure to create new content every week.
And it's unless you have a large audience like of members, unless you have a large student base or customer base, people just aren't going to watch all that. So even like unless you are a brick and mortar operation, because then people will watch you've got lots of different teachers and people are used to coming in person to certain classes and certain styles. So you keep doing you. Do what you do in the offline world, online. That's amazing. But for people who are like solo creators in the wellness industry, building a gargantuan library of content is like kind of a bad strategy in 2024. It's just unnecessary. It's just like too much. It's just, you're just kind of creating digital clutter. And so I
Mhm.
would just like, I mean, if you're just, one thing a week, fine, but just be really mindful of how much content you're putting out there. And then again, co-creating with your students, your clients,
Mhm.
to make sure that it's what they need. If they're not watching that content, then it's not what they
Mhm.
need.
Yeah.
So then like rethink your strategy.
The other side of this too is like we've had clients, as you said, who have this pages and pages of videos, right? And then they're still
Mhm.
uploading, they're still uploading more because they
Oh
feel
yeah.
like they have to. And what we've coached them on is like, just stop uploading. Like, why don't you just reorganize, rework it,
Mhm.
and show it to them in a different way? So
Yeah.
maybe you're doing like, this week we're doing legs, or I don't
Yeah.
know. And then you just like take all your leg workouts and like make a playlist for this week with the legs, right? You
Mhm.
didn't do anything other than maybe 15 minutes of dragging videos into a specific order, not even 15,
Mhm.
probably 3 minutes, and no more. Like, they're not going to know that you didn't create more
They
videos.
don't
So
actually care. It's irrelevant
no,
if they know
no,
or
right. You're
not.
right.
Like,
Right. They
that's
don't
not
care.
why they're there.
I have
They're
a
not there to
problem.
like yeah.
Solve it. That's it.
Yeah, solve my problem, give me the transformation I'm looking for, mentor me in the way that I hired you to mentor me. Like no one, 0 people care
Mhm.
how many videos you upload to anything
Yeah.
ever again.
And
So,
I would, if it were me, I would like hide those videos from that
yeah,
membership. Those people can't even see them. And then you can drop the old videos in that seem new all of a sudden, right? And so you're just like manipulating videos behind the scene and giving your member something new and exciting. So,
yeah, yeah. And I would just like, okay, so the reason people build big YouTube channels is because of search and because you're trying to get as many people to view those things as possible to maximize your ad revenue and like
mhm,
to build your audience and people in your keywords, and Google's finding all those videos, right? Google is YouTube. So that's not what this is. This is we're talking about paid memberships behind a paywall and a login screen. And so no one gets any juice from just having a gargantuan amount of content. So, we also have seen great success with clients who literally say you're getting this content for the teachers who say you're getting this content for, this week, and then it goes away because that's creating the incentive for your students or clients to actually consume the content during that period of time. Because again, busy schedules, like people have lots of other things going on. You're saying, okay, this week you can access this. Next week it's going to be something else. So if you want to access this now, get it on your calendar.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. So the last one is called Start Here. This template operates, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. You enter the membership and you are instructed through fantastic onboarding communication that you are to go and watch this course. And then that gives that new member the right language, the right knowledge, new habits, can just join the rest of the classes or material or content, whatever it is, with having that foundational knowledge, right? So a lot of people, I'm thinking about, like, we have clients who teach Ayurveda concepts. And so they can get in, learn what the doshas are or whatever it is, so that they're ready to go and participate in the conversation and watch the other videos and the cooking classes, whatever it may be, so that they're all in the same playing field. So that works really, really well. And even for our membership, we do the same, like, go watch these videos first so that you can come into the coaching calls and know what we're all talking about.
We should do an entirely different video on this in the coming weeks, but I'm thinking like this, I'm seeing in the creator economy in general, this being a theme, not just within a certain membership, but with regard to giving people a foundational course, selling people into a foundational course, and then putting them into a membership after that. And you have to have gone through the foundational course or program or cohort in order to access the membership, because then that is what actually makes the membership valuable for the members, is that everyone is experienced once they're in there.
Yes, I think so there's like the course first before the membership, and then there's the course as soon as you join the membership. And I think they would be a little bit different. Like, I think that the course inside the membership would be like the how to, like, as I said, the language, like, so you can participate. And then the course outside the membership would be more like actual teaching of concepts and learnings. So, and then I want more. Oh, by the way, I've got this membership. Like, continue with me over here on the membership.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That totally aligns. And I think that anyway, we should do a whole other video on that, because I think that is a very powerful strategy for kind of an online offering in 2024. But yes, I mean, I also think, just to be clear, these are templates, these ideas that Sandy's shared with us in this episode, but you can also like merge these together, right? To make your own kind of template. Like,
you can
have these features all incorporated into a single membership. So you can have, like your own creative melding of these things. Like, you don't have to follow one system.
Right. You can
make your membership
blend and blur.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So for everyone listening, if you want more information, we teach it all in membershipmarvelous.com. All the information is there. Hit subscribe. We're going to be doing these every week, maybe even more. Lots more to come.
Yeah. They won't all be about memberships either. So we have a lot to say about memberships, because it is the most popular kind of digital product on our platform. So we just have a lot of domain expertise in memberships. But generally speaking, like, we're just going to be sharing a lot of nuggets of wisdom and ideas that we've gleaned from 10 years in the online wellness industry. So we're just here to share that with you here, probably more than once a week. Yeah, hit subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment below if you have questions for us and you want us to answer them on a future video.
Yeah, or like, have a suggestion for a video where you're confused or stuck. We will do it.
Yep. All right.